So one of the things people mentioned when in our year-end show last, not 2 weeks ago now, is that I was overlooking a great natural resource that I have at my disposal, and that is, of course, the the antics of one Ben Stark, since he's one of the more ridiculous people I've come into contact with. Because I mentioned, Shahar has provided a lot of great stories, and we're forever indebted to him for that. I guess I gave him one of the Limmy Awards for best
Limmies. Forgot about the
most
Limmies.
valuable contributor sign-offs.
Yeah,
but. It'd be unfair to Ben to not mention some of the things that he has done. Two of the most enduring stories for me with Ben are, the first one is the night before Pro Tour Paris, when Ben showed up having not tested at all because he just couldn't make it or whatever, and he was deciding which deck to play. And the two decks we had, one was Cobblade. This is the deck with Stoneforge Mystic, Jace, not Batterskull, the swords, and Squadron Hawk and whatnot. And then the other was this...
AKA one of the best standard decks ever.
Right, it got multiple cards banned and ended up being one of the best standard decks ever seen. The other was this deck with Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, and Kuldotha, Forge Master, and Blightsteel Colossus. And Ben was really going back and forth. He's like, I haven't played much. Which deck should I play? And I'm like, look, the Kuldotha Forge Master deck doesn't know if it wants 4 Preordain or 4 Jace. That's their last slot. They haven't decided which one to play. First of all, you should be playing both. It's insane not to. Second of all, our Cobblade deck is very well tested. We're playing both these cards. It's great. And he's like, you put it that way, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then he wins the Pro Tour. So he's beating me on the way. And I'm just like, wow, why did I tell Ben this? So he beat me in like round 13 or something like that. But,
oh, God, that is so great.
I remember telling Ben that, like, look at these two things. He just looked at him and it's like a light bulb went off in his head. But the funnier story was from Grand Prix, I believe it was Houston, where he's X1 going to the last draft pod. So he's like 11 and
really good shape for top 8.
He has to go 2-1 and potentially 1-1-1 to make top 8. And the draft pod's about to start, and I get a call from Ben. I called him because people were like, "Where's Ben?" And he's like, "I'm running. I'm trying to find my way back." I'm like, "What did you do?" He's like, "Well, I went to look for a Subway." He's obsessed with Subway. He's like, "I went to look for a Subway and I got lost." I'm like, "Well, are you going to make it back?" He's like, I don't know how to get back. I'm just running in a random direction. I'm like, "Why don't you use your phone?" He's like, "I don't have time for that." And he hangs up and just doesn't show up for like another hour. He ended up missing the draft and, being forced to 0-3 the draft pod, finished in the top 50 because his record was still very good.
God, I remember that because I wasn't there. I wasn't doing coverage at the time. I hadn't yet, but I remember on Twitter, people were like, "Has anybody seen Ben Stark? Where's Ben Stark?"
He literally got lost looking for a Subway and then didn't have time, quote, to use his phone and was just running in random directions.
Oh, that's so great. So, that pretty much encapsulates him in a nutshell. That's
actually just Ben Stark in a nutshell.
Yeah, I have a quick Ben Stark story as well. When we were in Vegas last summer for the World Series and for the GP and stuff, we were rooming together and I had rented a car and he wanted to go somewhere and he's like, "Can I borrow the rental car?" I'm like, "Sure." So he takes off. Now Ben is a really fair, genuine person. He's very straightforward. And when he thinks something's right, he will do it. And he figured that he would put some gas in the car, which is great. I mean, what a nice thing to do, right? So he pulls over and he's at the gas station, but he can't figure out how to open the gas cap. So he starts sending me text messages about how do I open the gas cap on the rental car, and it culminates with me saying, "There's a switch in the door." And so he sends me a picture of the door from his phone that says, "I don't see the switch," and I'm like, "Dude, it's under the handle or whatever." And he we literally had 5 texts back and forth because he couldn't figure out how to open the door on the little gas door. It was just like, this is just too good. It's just like, he tries so hard,
Look, all I know is the more people I meet, like Ben or Shahar or myself, the more
you are definitely on this list, by the way.
People only have a limited number of points, and in order to become, in Ben's case, for example, one of the best limited players of all time, let's just say he used up a lot of points.